Oh, I am so honored and so delighted to have beloved Liz here. Welcome, Liz.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. I'm so honored to be here with you today.
Oh, I'm so
Thank you for
grateful.
having.
Oh, so grateful. Thank you, love. And I'm excited just to dive in. And I'd love for you to share with all the beloveds that are listening right now to, share a little bit about your journey into Feng Shui, Geomancy. I know a lot. I mean, I know you've always been connected with the land and very much so the animal kingdom as well. And your journey as a civil engineer into and how that all integrates and everything. So I'm going to pass the goddess baton over to you, love. So share with us. We'd love to hear.
Yeah, so it's been a long journey. It started, over 20 years ago, and I was invited to a home dem where they were presenting Feng Shui. And they showed us the aspirations and the compass directions and how to put that on your house. So I was completely fascinated. I'm like, look at this stuff. Oh my God. So I brought it home and immediately put it to use. And from that point forward, my life really shifted. I had more purpose. I had more interest. I had more focus. And before this, I had had some bad relationships and, life was rather a struggle. Making and keeping money a struggle. So when I started doing all this, things just started falling in place for me. I was meeting the right people. I was having good relationships. I was easily just getting rid of bad relationships. And I was impressed. I was seriously impressed. And I had to learn more. So I spent about 15 years with my head in books. I reached a point and I said, I need help. You can only learn so much in Feng Shui, for me anyway. The classical stuff gets a little bit complicated, and I got to the point where I had to know about the classical Feng Shui, and I had to understand it to take the next step in this journey. And I searched for a couple of years to find the perfect school, and I found you. Thank God.
Oh my gosh, and I am so grateful.
Heaven sent. So, that was the start of the journey. In the meantime, yes, I have a civil engineering degree. I'm a civil engineer. My first part of my career, I was working in environmental protection. And then in the second part of my career, I became an entrepreneur. I said, I'm going to start my own business. And basically, I do surveying. I plot topographic plans. We design site plans, so we locate homes on properties where the wells go, where the septics go, and we have to do soil evaluation. So we have to dig into the earth and see what kind of soil is there, so that we're making everything work. And that's just, I couldn't get any more good technical information for Feng Shui than having done that. But then, we get into the flying stars, and that's like a whole different thing. So, I'm not making any connection yet. There's no connection between my work and Feng Shui. Sorry, excuse me. So then off to Ireland I go, right? So here why is it perfect? It's perfect because it's in Ireland. I have ancestral roots in Ireland. I've been wanting to go there. And it's just now, again, at this point, the most pivotal time in my life, the most magical things happened. Meeting soul sisters. And I mean, like, really soul sisters. And a number of them, our entire class. How many people did we have in that class? Like 30 people or something. Everybody was we were like glue. And we were like, the energy and the spirit and the connection and I don't think we could ever repeat that. It was just the most magical time. And you holding all that space for us, you creating all that space for us and teaching us. I mean, the class, that's beyond the class. Like, so the class is like, I got everything I needed. I was looking for that technical information. I needed to know those flying stars. I needed to understand classical feng shui. You gave it to me right there.
Yay.
But you gave me so much more. And just like in feng shui, right? It's not just the numbers. It's the human. It's the human connection to everything. It's the heavenly connection to everything. So I think it was just, I'm always led just in life. I'm led to the right place. There would have been no other course or teacher that I think I could have ever gone to that would have set me on my path correctly. Like that is where I had to be to get on my path. And it's not just the flying stars. It's all of this together. Feng Shui is earth, it's heaven, it's human. It's a beautiful combination of that. And you do such a beautiful job pulling that all together and bringing everybody into that experience, not just telling us about it. Like, you made us get into that experience. You were like, you're doing this now, you're going to have this experience and that's how you're going to learn. And it was just pivotal, magical, best week of my life. And then from there, that's another story. I went off to find my ancestral land and whatnot.
With your new soul sister, your old soul, new soul sister.
Yeah. So where am I going with this story at this point? So after that class, that now I have all my confidence, and I say, well, first of all, I have to bring it back and put it into use. That was fun. I'm like, oh my God.
And then may I just add that, Liz, knowing and loving you, you're not somebody who just takes things at surface level. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, like, first of all, I can clearly hear it was all soul calling, divinely guided. But then also, come on, you civil engineering, you need to understand the how and the why. And I so admire that about you, because you really dive into the energetics, but you're like, okay, I want the practical, and I want to know, and I need to see this works, and I want to see the results, and then I'm going to go even deeper. You're amazing.
Yes, it's totally true. And then deeper after that, right? Oh, so, well, when I got back and I started incorporating it around, like everybody else in class, their husbands were like, why are you taking my weights? I need to use them. I'm like, yeah, when was the last time you did?
I love it.
When you want to use them again, let me know. I'll let you take them back. I'll replace it. I'll replace it in the meantime, So anyway, well, we got everything in balance, and and I've had less tragedy since then.
Good. Really happy to hear that.
Well, I had moved into a new house back in 2004. Before, and that was like, I started my feng shui journey back in the late 90s, as far as learning and just trying to incorporate. And, you go online, it's very difficult because there's so much information out there. So you're not sure if you're learning the right feng shui or, and then you do, I read every book I could, and I got to a point where I needed help in deciphering and confirming what I was reading. So, but then moving into the new house, I had some medical issues and some things happened. So, but things have been nice and smooth since I got it all worked out. I got all my things in place. And in this house, people walk in and they just melt. And it's kind, it's had that kind of energy since I moved here. But then, doing the feng shui, it just
a whole other level.
Yeah. And then I love too about feng shui is that people find houses that are a reflection of themselves, have the energy of, or have the energy of things you need to work on, or what you're aspiring to. So there's all this different energy in the house. I I loved finding that out after when I came back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was setting myself up right there, So no, then again, so now you're thinking again, and now there's this purpose, and now there's this information, and Feng Shui helps you in so many ways because you are always able to just come back and look and contemplate, balance, aspire. It's all there. It really keeps your life going smooth. And in my life, again, I mean, it's been pretty organic as far as how things have unfolded. So with the business, with the Feng Shui, I didn't really know how I was going to start doing the Feng Shui business and have my engineering business. Plus, my husband and I also have another business.
Wow.
So we have a lot going on. I don't have children though. So I'm, career is like my child, other than my pets.
I would say your pet too, yeah.
Yes. Well, they're first. So for me, and since I started my Feng Shui business and when I came back, and that was it, I started it.
You're amazing.
When I came back from Ireland, yeah.
Amazing. You were just ready and all aligned, yeah.
And you stop. It's like you might look back. People tell these stories and stuff, but the fact is, it's not like I started my business and It's like stumble, wonder, stumble, try, do. It's you've got to just do. Nike was right. Just do it. So whatever you want to do, just be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have everything in balance and you have paid attention to everything you need to, keeping things up, keeping things tidy, keeping things in place, everything will fall into place for you.
I love that. And, clearly, you're already an entrepreneur because you were working a job as a civil engineer, and then you started your own business, and then you and your husband have a business. So that's in you. But then the soul work called you to Ireland, and you've been exploring it for years before that. And so then you come back and you're just ready. So you just mentioned wasn't completely smooth sailing. Would you share with us what did come up for you when you started things up? You said there was a couple of bumps, maybe whatever because I think it's really inspiring for the beloveds that are listening to go, because it's like, oh, it was so easy. She came home to start up her business. But what was it that came up? And I also just really want to point out as well how beautifully that you're like, our home is a reflection. And I love the fact that when you aligned with your beautiful present home, and the land that you live on was already gorgeous. So that's a gorgeous reflection of you already, and then you've both just been refining and aligning ever since.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell us about that when you started, starting up your Feng Shui business. And you also said to us that you hadn't really made that connection yet between your civil engineering. And of course, when I'm listening to you, you're like topography of the land and where the house is, I'm like, that's all alignment. But
I know.
What was it for you that made you go, that's the alignment? So that is it. Like, what was the shift there?
The shift was taking the geomancy classes. That was the shift, because
and what led you in? So you came home with the Feng Shui knowledge, your civil engineering. So what made you want to go, okay, I've learned about Feng Shui, now I'm going to learn about, I obviously know, but I'd love to hear from you why you decided, okay, now I'm going to learn about geomancy.
All right. So I'm going to answer three questions. First, I do want to address the building of the Feng Shui business, because that geomancy subject is very in depth. So when I got back and I started the business, well, basically I said, I'm going to do business. And I started, of course, I had to do my case studies, and then, and people were intrigued. So, people that are usually close to you, not the people you selected for case studies, but then they want some of that good juju. So they're like, come on, tell me more, So you just kind of organically get some work. And, that all started, and then COVID hit. So for me starting, everything actually became virtual. And I started doing virtual readings, and I started doing virtual small gatherings and virtual consultations, all by Zoom, And And that was expansive because the beloveds that came to me because they wanted me to help them, they helped me as much or more than I could ever have helped them. I mean, it's just an exchange in life.
Yeah.
And so so I've gained so much from my clients that it just gives me ideas and what else I can do and how I can help people, because ultimately I just love to help people. And I want people to have their best life. It's because you can, again, like, so from my upbringing, it was a very, the attitude was just like, things are tough, and you got to work hard and but it's not really, you just accept the gifts in life and give back to life, and it gives to you. So the virtual stuff started petering out, and I'm like, okay, so now I'm back to where I started before COVID. How do I bring this to the people? And at that time, my massage therapist moved. So I had to find a new massage therapist. And there's a studio about 5 minutes from my house up in the York Village. I said, I'll try it out there. So I go up and, whoa, what is this space? This is so cool. And they had all these rooms, and it was just it felt so good when I walked in there. And come to find out, it's a women's collective of wellness professionals. So it's not one person having the studio or having hired all these people. It's a space, and the woman that runs it wants a diverse amount of different people coming in and using the spaces. And there's a space for group gatherings, and there are spaces for private meetings or what have you. So, so there was my answer. I joined the collective, and now I have a place for private meetings if need be. I have an office, but it's my engineering office,
Yeah.
And now also we go on site for our consultations most of the time, but it gives me this gathering space.
Oh.
And I am, because the other thing I have learned too with people is that people don't just jump on and say, yeah, do my Feng Shui. People are like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is Feng Shui? And what do you do? Like, what are you going to do? So I'm actually going to use this space now. And it's been so exciting because I've come up with so many great ideas, and I can't wait for the unfolding. But I'm going to do, I'm one-on-one and group meditations,
Yes.
women's circles.
Wonderful.
Above and beyond, like, I'm going to be obviously doing some Feng Shui classes, get to know Feng Shui, learn just all these, so many different ideas on what to do. So I'm really excited about that. Yep. So, that's it. You just apply yourself. You apply yourself. Doors open, doors open, doors open.
Yeah. And it really really is about aligning, So, we heard about Feng Shui and how you came home and you'd already been integrating into your life, but when you really did the whole classical, intentional, all of that, like, there were major shifts, relationship-wise, health-wise, prosperity-wise. So what happened with the geomancy? You were in Ireland in 2019 and then have carried on studying, with Alex and I online. So what were the internal and the external shifts, and what was the connection points with that? I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff. So a little more background about me. I come from a large family, Irish-Italian family. We are five daughters and one son. So a lot of goddesses in one house.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I was the youngest, and my brother was the next oldest. And I have a lot of masculine energy. So, my brother being the only son in this Irish-Italian family, he was treated like a god. He just couldn't do anything wrong, and he didn't have to do anything he didn't want to. I feel terrible for my father because his only son was such a lackey that I said, I have to help him, So I was always helping my father. I was always doing the chores. I was always, with the animals, and we got a small farm, and it made me, I was just, I had a lot of masculine energy. And then I go into the engineering and it's a man's world and, always, always, always. So that's my background about my energy. And then we take the Feng Shui class, and then you're offering this other class, Geomancy, and it's about the land, and the land connected with the Feng Shui. It's very important that we understand the whole picture. And all, a bunch of the girls that I was with in class were going. So I'm like, of course I'm going. I'm like, I don't really understand yet what I'm doing. And, my life, just following my heart. I'm going to follow my heart. I don't know what this is. I'm not sure. It's not like I'm planning it or planning what it's going to do for me. I'm just going. And kind of knocked me off my feet because I was amazed. I was enlightened. Just my heart opened during that. It was my first class in Geomancy was you're in person. So it was so experiential. It was so opening for me. And here comes my feminine side now.
I can feel it.
Who is this girl? Where's she come from? I don't know her yet, so and I left there in wonderment. It took me a long time to absorb everything. We did so much. We saw so much. We experienced so much connection to the land, so much connection with others and with the universe. It brings this whole understanding and whole connection. It's a lot to take in. We learned dowsing, as far as anything technical we did. I'm like, where's the dowsing? Where are we going to do some dowsing here?
I need the structure here, please. Come on now. Too much esoteric. Let's bring it back down. Let's ground it here now.
So, yeah.
The balance is important, that balance is really important.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. And so after that, Geomancy, of course, and then we had the online during all the everything went virtual. And then there was an online class for the Geomancy. So I signed up for that. And that sealed the whole deal. You have, again, just like your Feng Shui class, you have this whole, and you and Alex, Alex bringing all this incredible volumes and volumes of information and technical information and history and worldly knowledge. It was so eye-opening and so informative. I loved that. And then again, now here we move into, now we're going to connect with all that is there. All our ancestors, our land, the history of our land, the history of our world, the connections to the earth, the connections to the universe. It's all there. And you have all these beautiful assignments that, you can't skirt this. You go in and you discover and you experience and you grow and you expand and you are on your path, I'm like, I am on my path now. There is no way I'm turning back. And the other nice thing I've learned through the growing of the business, which has been nicely organic. I didn't force anything. And the website too, right? So the website, of course, you got to get a website. So was trying to do a website when I first got back, and I said, it just wasn't coming together. And I'm like, you can't beat yourself up when things aren't coming together. They're not meant to come together. So
and that's beautiful because that's your divine feminine energy. And it's all about that sacred union between your divine feminine and divine masculine. The masculine is forcing, got to get it ready. It's got to be up this structure. This has to be here. And then your divine feminine goes, no, it's okay. I trust in divine timing. And then we merge them, and then when it really is time, just all unfolds and there it is.
There it is. So since the since the door opening, it's called Rise Wellness Collective.
It's amazing.
Thanks. It is. It's totally amazing. And not to mention, and I didn't mention, I mean, I am immediately connected with all these wellness goddesses, like in their whole community. It's they're right there.
Oh,
My connection has been with you, with my family, with my Feng Shui family, but here I am. I'm here, and what's around me is it was right there. So now it's over.
but you know what I mean? The thing is, and we all know, I know, it's all about the alignment. It's about the divine timing. And so, maybe you had gone, let's say you had gone there 2 years prior, whatever, like you would have walked in and go, whatever. But that, like, you're just radiant and beautiful. And I could feel that divine union within your yin and yang. And you walk in there and it's like, ding, all that alignment is there. And so that's why that synergy and that synchronicity is like, oh, and I love it. And I love now it's right there. It's right there down
Right
the
there.
road, where you're on your land, and you're in Maine, which is just, oh, the land is just so beautiful there. And I love they're going to be doing these women's circles, and
Mhm.
you really have had that contrast, like you said, when you were younger, like you felt like I got to be there for my dad, and I'm going to really step into this and be who he needs me to be, and like at some stage, kind of your divine feminine got put to the side, right? And then the reclaiming and the reconnecting and the re-remembering. Now you're in your
Mm.
fullness, and so now it's just that expression, and it's
Mm.
beautiful and such an honor to witness. Like, and you've done the work. You have done the work. Like backport to Ireland, you've gone deep. And I've witnessed you. There's been frustrating moments, and like over the years, and you kept just going deeper and deeper and deeper until it's like, okay, that's it. I'm sure you'll carry on going deeper, but like to now to witness is just so beautiful. So thank you for sharing this.
Well, Amanda, thank you. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for you personally. You are heaven sent.
Hmm.
You really are.
Oh.
It's
Well,
not.
well, I feel the same way, love. The way you were saying earlier that our work is our medicine. And it really is. And you were saying how much your clients, give to you. But I feel the same way with you. And like what you're describing is, I feel the same way too. And it's a soul
Mhm.
agreement. It's a soul. That's why when,
Mm.
you said you were looking for a couple of years for school, and it's just like then your soul goes, that's the one. Oh, but it's all the way in Ireland. There's somebody here or whatever. It's like, no, 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 your soul knows. So
Yes.
I'm so grateful too. So grateful.
Yeah.
And may I just also say that it wasn't me, it was all you. Like you, because I didn't really do anything other than I was just there sharing. You made all the choices to show up, to say yes, to go deeper, to do all that you've done. So it's you, Lovey. It's you.
Well, it is you too, because I had to agree to I had to agree to something. It wasn't nothing. Oh my goodness. I remember when I first met you, and I thought, I had seen you online, and I had, studied about, all your stuff and everything. Said, I can't believe I'm going to meet this woman. Honestly, I was just I honored from the moment I met you or read about you. I have just and you're heaven sent. You
Oh,
are
oh,
really
thank you.
you're just you bring so much magic to everyone. Not just that, like, so, and with your classes, you bring all of this. You help people become whole, and you also not just leave them there. You support them. You're always there for people. You're always there for us. You're always there for
My
me.
God, I'm gonna start crying now. Like
You have
seriously.
you have resources of beyond resources.
Hmm.
It's it's just not it's not measurable how much of an impact you have on people.
I didn't know you were gonna have me crying on this conversation.
You've made me cry, so I'm just getting you back. Oh, you're beautiful. So, um, yeah, the I had something else I wanted to say about that, about the Rise Collective too, was, I don't know. I just hope you can come someday and come here and
And
visit.
I'm already feeling the energy through you, and it just feels so beautiful. And it's just this rise and all going in the direction of this new earth. So, so beautiful. And you're like your embodiment of who you are and how you show up and the difference that you're making. I mean, it's just so radiant and so beautiful. So thank
Mm,
you. Thank you. And
thank you.
like I don't know, you were saying that you might come back around to sharing a little bit more about maybe some business things that I think are helpful for
Mm,
beloveds to hear. And also what I'm hearing now, it's more you're really following your internal guidance, your intuition, your highest self. She's guiding you, your highest self, she's guiding you every step of the way. You're saying yes, you're showing up, and you're bringing the structure that you need to. Just like, it's like that union, like, oh, I work from these hours. I mean, I have flexibility. I'll create my website. I'll show up. I'll start to. So it's this beautiful union of fluidity from what you're describing. And I kind of feel that some of these things that you're going to share feel so far away now. Am I right in saying that? They feel like
mm,
further away,
like,
like they're in the past. Do I even have to talk?
oh, the growing up and the
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah,
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
yeah,
No. Just brought it up to show where, you know, to show, transition happens
yeah.
in life, and and that was a big, and that transition to recognizing my femininity was a really big for me. I've always had, been, and because I'm also very technical, I'm an artist. I am an artist.
Oh,
I
you
and
are.
I draw. So I'm like really, I really am like
It's
Catherine.
beautiful. I mean, you have that gorgeous expression integration of the technical, the intuitive, the creative, and like I think that's the beauty of what you're doing now because you are expressing all those gifts.
And Feng Shui lets you do that.
Yeah,
I mean, Feng Shui and Geomancy is the perfect portal to bring all of that together.
mm,
So
that's amazing.
it is amazing.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing this. And I just feel cold, like because you're such a beautiful expression and role model to somebody who's done this work. And what are 3 tips for the beloveds listening now that you might suggest some really simple things that you would suggest for them to do with their environment to if they're hearing they're like, yes, yes, I want that. What are a
Mhm.
couple of just right off the bat, very simple things people could take away with them and implement?
I would say you would want to you want to let your house, I mean, you want to talk to your house. You want to welcome your house, introduce yourself to your home if you haven't already. Go into every room, go into the center of the house, give it some love, give it some attention. Say, I want to work with you. I want to be together with you. I want to, let's do, let's have a connection. And if you go through every room and just speak your intentions, speak to the house, let it know. If you walk into a room and see it's one of the rooms, maybe they can throw all your stuff in, you're like, that's just the extra room, be like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to dump all my stuff in here on you, like I want you to be happy and clean. And also, you can go through and do a deep cleaning. That would be a good thing to do. And while you're doing it, do it intentionally. And um, the space, of course, open your windows, do some space clearing, burn some sage, ring some bells, sing some songs, dance around. Um, and I think an important thing for also what for welcoming some new energy into your house, um, so you can start feeling it, is going to be, your front door, and any door you use. You want to just have a look at it. Go outside, look at everything, come in. How do you feel? Go back outside. Now, look at where all the dirt is or where all the clutter is, inside and out. Clear it out, clean it. You know what I do every day? I open my front door every morning. That's one of the first things I do to welcome the day.
I love that.
And your house, and that's the mouth of the chi. That's where the energy is coming into your house. So you want that to be clean, clear, and welcoming. So those things I think would be also, the clutter. It's so, you hear it all the time, but if you have clutter, you definitely want to hear
the story of the book, right? You can't get up a conversation with any of us without us making that suggestion.
Not to beat an old horse, but
as animal lovers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, this is so enriching. And I even learned so much about you that I'm so grateful. So thank you for your time, love.
Amanda, thank you so much. Oh. I am so grateful.
This is amazing. And if there's one practice that you have brought into your life just that really help you stay in balance and your vibration high, what would be that daily practice that you would share with us?
The one thing, the two things. Things. Yeah. You have to get outside, get fresh air, connect with nature every day. Yeah. You just have to. Let the sun shine on your face. Let the moon shine on your face. That's a must. And for a lot of people, I think meditation can be daunting, and it always was. For a long time it was for me. And but meditation doesn't have to be, I have to sit here for 20 minutes. It can be a number of things. So incorporate in some way some type of mindful, quiet, connective practice. It can be in your shower, you can be in your shower. You can be like the water. Think of where the water is coming from the earth and coming up and cleansing you. And it's the element of water, and, just like bring the elemental energy into yourself. Like that's like a meditation. Love that. That's in mindful. So it's just mindfulness, and in moments that you can, if you can't take the time apart to meditate, if you just can take a few minutes, just recognize where you are and make some connections to the earth, make some connections to the universe, sit still, take breaths, allow the gifts and beauty of life to infuse you.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us, your story so far. We'll look forward to hearing more as it keeps unfolding.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you, love. This was so
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Amanda, so much.
Thank you, love.
I love you.
Love you too.